What's up, guys? Welcome to Tropical TCG, and today we have a Touken Ranbu deck profile.
The Shinken Hisatsu version.
Okay. I didn't realize there were more than one versions.
Yeah.
I don't know Touken Ranbu.
Okay, well, Touken Ranbus have two different skills that are specific to them. They have the Homare ability, and then there's the Shinken Hisatsu. And I built the Shinken Hisatsu version.
Alright.
So, this is my starting Vanguard. There's a bunch of grade zeros for this deck, but really, I just like to use this one. This one's the act. Well, first of all, it's a forerunner. Then there's the act you put it into the soul, and you give +3 to any 2 units. So it's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna run through the trigger lineup real quick. So I'm running 4 heals, pretty standard. I mean, if you're not running 4 heals, then you're not playing Vanguard.
Or just make a rush deck with 16 crit.
Or you could do that. So I'm running 4 draws, because this deck doesn't have too much draw power, but I don't need any more than 4 draws really. And then I'm running 8 crit. So running, it doesn't really matter what other 4. It doesn't really matter what 8 crits you run. Yeah, so I'm running 8 crit. I'm running 1 of this one mostly because I only have 1 right now, but you don't really need him. He's just kind of there. He has the effect if you throw him to the soul, you get some power, but more often than not, you're just gonna use him to guard anyway. So he's not super useful for that. All right. Let's go to grade 1s. Alright, so I have the 4 perfect guards. They're the only perfect guards in the deck, so yeah. Then I have the only 4 Stride Enablers, also pretty standard. Okay. Then I have 4 of him. Now he's pretty useful. You counterblast 1, then you soul charge 1, and he gets +4 when he's placed on rear guard. So he's really strong, and he combos really well with another card that I'll get to after. And then I'm running 2 of this guy. I'm only running 2 mostly because I don't need any more grade 1s in this deck really, and then his effect really only comes to play kind of early-ish or very late, depending on when you use him. So his effect is if you have 2 rested units and you attack with your Vanguard, you throw them into the soul, and your Vanguard gets +10. So pretty strong, but again, not always useful. Oh, and the 2 rested includes himself, so you boost with him, and then his effect activates, which is pretty nice. So, alright. Now let's move on to grade 2s. I'm just gonna run through this deck really fast, and then see if we can get to some combos, because there are some fairly interesting ones. Yeah, let's start with this one. So, I run 4 of this guy. His effect, you soul blast 1 when he gets boosted, and he gets +3, and then and then at the end of the turn that he got attacked, that he got boosted with, you can bounce one of your rear guards back to the back to your hand, and that's pretty good. And this is the card I was working out that works really well with this one. So basically, what happens is like you call this, and then you call this, and then you activate both their effects. So you essentially use your ditching card and counterblasting, and it becomes a 23k column, and you can bounce the back one back to hand and just redo it next turn. So it's really strong. Okay. Next we have running 3 of this guy. His ability, if you hit the Vanguard, you activate his ability. He restands and he can hit the back row. So pretty useful. He's not overly powerful or anything, but if he can hit early, it's really strong. Gets rid of forerunner ability, gets rid of boosters, gets rid of whatever early. So okay. Next, I'm running 2 of him, and his ability is pretty good. I'm only running 2 of him because you don't really need more than 2, but he's some of the draw power in this deck. You counterblast 1, you soul blast 1, and you regardless of whether it hits Vanguard or anything, you draw 1 basically. So pretty good. Nothing overly special. Sorry, not draw 1. You draw 2. Sorry. and I'm running 2 of him. His ability is essentially just limit break 4 essentially, and he becomes a 12k. So pretty normal. I don't know. All right, on to grade 3s. So I'm running 4 of him, and his ability, you hit the Vanguard, you countercharge, you Soul Blast, and then you can pick up a grade 3 from your drop zone. And then his stride skill is you can give +3 to 2 different units. So he's pretty good. He's gonna be your main grade 3 if you can get him. Although the grade 3 can change depending on what you're fighting too, so keep that in mind. For example, the other grade 3 you could potentially ride is this guy, and he's basically a Silent Tom. He's really strong. Like you attack with him on the Vanguard Circle, he can't be guarded by grade 0s, and if somebody attacks you, you can counterblast, and he gets +2, and you can keep doing it. So if they have like, that's why I say it's conditional. Like, so let's say they have Aqua Force or Royal Paladins or something who attacks a lot, and if you have the counterblast for it and you have him, you just counterblast, and you need less cards to guard with, or it's just like at some point they just can't hit over you. So, and then lastly for my grade 3s, I have this guy. There are a bunch of grade 3s for this deck as well, and I was trying to really decide which ones to run for my version of this deck, and I don't like all of the other cards that require other cards on the field, which is a lot of what this deck is about. But this one is really non-conditional, and he provides countercharge for this deck too, which is pretty nice. So it's like you hit with it, and if it hits, then you can countercharge, throw him on the countercharge 2, throw him on the bottom of the deck, and you draw a card. And if he's boosted by grade 1, then he gets +1,000. If he's boosted by grade 2, he gets +2,000. So he becomes a 12k as well. Yeah. All right. So lastly we have strides. So right now, I'm running 2 Iwatoshi. Mostly because I only have 2 at the moment, but you don't really need more than 2. Like I've never come into a situation where I've needed more than 2 of him. Or essentially 1 of him because he flips himself. But essentially what it is, you activate a skill and he can hit the whole front row. So it's pretty useful.
Oh boy, it's a Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion.
Yeah. Listen, it's incredibly useful, but like not overly whelming, I guess. But I've only really needed 2 of him. I would maybe consider bumping him up for 4 in exchange for 2 of the other cards that are in my strides right now, but right now 2's working out for me, so I'm sticking with 2. Next I'm running the 2 weird ones, being the 2 Blizza, and Blizza's pretty standard, you know, you just counterblast and you gets power, so pretty standard. So now I'm running 2 of this guy, Hotarumaru. I'll be honest, I almost never find a situation where I use him.
Now.
I mean, like, I was thinking about, like, his ability sounds fairly decent. Like, you rest 5 units, and then if his attack hits, then you can restand him and he gets -2 drive. But, like, in theory, it's pretty useful, but it's not overly whelming when compared to,
Aqua Force.
Yeah, or any of the other strides I have in this deck. So, yeah, I'm mostly flipping for one of the other sides, which I'm getting to right now. And then, this is the last stride I have, which is the Mikazuchi Munichika. And he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Like, he's a slightly weaker Blizzo, where he only gets +3 instead of 5, but, depending on how many cards are flipped in your G zone, you can, if for every 2, you can rest one of your opponent's front rows. So if you have 4 flipped, then you can rest both of his front rows, and then he gets +3 for every G zone flipped, and then if he has 2 or more, he gets an extra critical as well.
Wait, rest or retire?
Retire, sorry, not
okay,
rest.
I was like, rest. I'm like, I've been cheating this entire time.
No, I'm sorry, I meant retire. And and the really nice thing about him is he doesn't need to flip himself, which is where this comes into play. So you stride with Munichika, and then you just flip Hotarumaru, and then you get 2 of them. So it's pretty strong, and I personally think it's really strong, but I don't know. It's somewhat conditional, but he's still easily the best stride in this deck.
Is that it?
Yep, and that's it from the deck profile.
Alright, thanks for the Touken Ranbu deck profile. If you guys liked the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.